There's a question that haunts almost every person on this planet, whether they admit it or not. What if my flaws are the reason I'll never succeed? What if the cracks in my character, the scars on my heart, the mistakes in my past, are the very things holding me back from greatness? We live in a world obsessed with perfection. From the filtered faces on social media to the flawless resumes we send out, we're taught to hide our weaknesses, to cover our scars, to pretend we are whole and unbreakable. We're told that only the perfect win, only the flawless rise, only the unbroken are worthy of admiration. But what if everything you've been told about flaws is a lie? What if your greatest weapon isn't your perfection, but your imperfection? What if the very things you're ashamed of, the cracks, the scars, the failures, are the source of your deepest power? There is an ancient secret hidden in the art of golden repair that turns this entire idea upside down. A secret that has transformed warriors, artists, and ordinary people for centuries. A secret that, once you understand it, will change the way you see yourself forever. This is the golden repair mindset. And today, you're going to discover why your flaws are not your weakness, but your greatest weapon. Let me ask you, have you ever tried to hide a part of yourself? Maybe it was a mistake you made, a failure you couldn't forget, a part of your body or your mind you wished you could erase. Maybe you've spent years trying to cover up your cracks, hoping no one would notice. But what if I told you that the people who change the world, the people who inspire us, the people who become legends, are not the ones who are flawless, but the ones who have learned to turn their flaws into gold? Let's begin with a story that could be yours, mine, or anyone's who has ever felt broken. In the heart of ancient Japan, there lived a young swordsman named Ren. Ren was not the strongest in his village. He was not the fastest nor the most talented. In fact, Ren was known for his flaws. He walked with a limp from an old injury. His left hand trembled when he was nervous. He had a scar across his cheek, a reminder of a duel he lost as a boy. Other warriors mocked him. They called him the Broken Blade. They said he would never be a true samurai, that his flaws would always hold him back. But Ren had something the others did not, a relentless spirit. He trained every day not to become perfect, but to understand his imperfections. He studied the way his limp changed his balance, the way his trembling hand forced him to grip his sword differently, the way his scar reminded him of pain and survival. One day, a great tournament was announced. Warriors from across the land would compete for honor and glory. Ren entered knowing he would face the best, the flawless, the unbroken, the legends. The first round was brutal. Ren's opponent was faster, stronger, and more skilled. But as the duel began, something unexpected happened. Ren's limp, which had always been a source of shame, made his movements unpredictable. His trembling hand, which he had learned to steady through years of practice, allowed him to switch grips in the blink of an eye. His scar, a reminder of pain, gave him the courage to fight without fear. He won, not because he was perfect, but because he had learned to use his flaws as weapons. Round after round, Ren advanced. Each opponent underestimated him, seeing only his weaknesses. But Ren had mastered the art of turning his flaws into advantages. In the final round, he faced the reigning champion, a warrior known for his flawless technique. The crowd expected an easy victory for the champion. But as the duel unfolded, Ren's unique style, born from his imperfections, confused and frustrated his opponent. In the end, Ren stood victorious. The crowd was silent, then erupted in applause. The Broken Blade had become the champion. After the tournament, an old master approached Ren. He handed him a small, cracked bowl, its seams filled with gold. "This is Kintsugi," the master said, "the art of golden repair. Just as this bowl is more beautiful for having been broken, so are you. Your flaws are your greatest weapon." Ren understood. He had spent his life trying to hide his imperfections, but it was only when he embraced them that he became unstoppable. But what does this mean for us, living in a world that still worships perfection? Let's step out of Ren's world and into our own. We all have flaws. Some are visible, scars, disabilities, differences that set us apart. Others are hidden, mistakes, regrets, fears, and insecurities that we carry in silence. Society tells us to hide these flaws, to cover them up, to pretend they don't exist. But the truth is, the people who achieve greatness are not those who are flawless, but those who have learned to turn their flaws into strengths. This is the golden repair mindset. It begins with a simple but radical idea. Your flaws are not your weakness. They are your story. They are your teachers. They are the source of your unique power. Modern psychology backs this up. Research on post-traumatic growth shows that people who face adversity and learn to overcome it often develop greater resilience, empathy, and creativity than those who never face hardship. The very things that break us can become the things that make us. But this transformation doesn't happen by accident. It requires a conscious choice, a decision to stop hiding, to stop pretending, to start embracing your flaws. The first step is awareness. You must be willing to look at your flaws honestly without judgment. What are the cracks in your armor? What are the scars you carry? What are the mistakes you've made, the failures you've endured? The second step is acceptance. This is the hardest part. It's easy to accept our strengths, but to accept our weaknesses, to see them as part of who we are, takes real courage. The third step is transformation. This is where the magic happens. Just as the Kintsugi artist fills the cracks with gold, you can fill your flaws with meaning, with purpose, with strength. Let's look at some real-world examples. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed over 1,000 times before he succeeded. Each failure was a crack in his journey, but he filled those cracks with persistence and innovation. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential women in the world, was fired from her first television job and told she was unfit for TV. She turned that rejection into a source of motivation, filling the cracks with resilience and vision. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, a crack that could have broken any man. But he filled that time with learning, with forgiveness, with a vision for a better world. These people did not succeed in spite of their flaws. They succeeded because of them. The golden repair mindset is not about pretending your flaws don't exist. It's about using them as tools, as weapons, as sources of strength. But how do you do this in your own life? Here's the truth. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. You don't have to be flawless to be unstoppable. You just have to be willing to turn your flaws into gold. The next time you feel ashamed of a mistake, remember Ren, the broken blade who became a champion. The next time you want to hide a scar, remember the Kintsugi bowl, more beautiful for having been broken. Ask yourself, what are the flaws you've been hiding? What are the cracks you've tried to cover up? What if, instead of hiding them, you filled them with gold? Maybe your flaw is a failure, a business that collapsed, a relationship that ended, a dream that died. What did you learn from that experience? How did it shape you? How can you use that lesson to help others? Maybe your flaw is a physical difference, a disability, a scar, a feature that sets you apart. How has it forced you to adapt, to grow, to see the world differently? How can you use that perspective as a source of strength? Maybe your flaw is a mistake, a choice you regret, a path you wish you hadn't taken. What wisdom did you gain from that detour? How can you use that wisdom to guide others? The golden repair mindset is not about erasing your flaws. It's about embracing them, celebrating them, using them as the foundation for your greatest achievements. This is not just philosophy, it's science, it's history. It's the story of every person who has ever turned pain into power, weakness into wisdom, brokenness into beauty. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you feel broken, don't hide your scars. Don't run from your pain. Gather your pieces. Honor your cracks. Fill them with gold. Share your story in the comments. Let this community be your gold, where your brokenness is not just accepted, but celebrated. Remember, you are not less because you are flawed. You are more because you have learned to turn your flaws into weapons. The world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more people brave enough to walk the golden repair path. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, join our community, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Your flaws are not your weakness. They are your strength. They are your story. And they are your gold. This is the golden repair mindset. This is how you turn your flaws into your greatest weapon. The journey of golden repair is not a straight line. It's a spiral, a process of breaking and repair, of loss and renewal, of pain and growth. Each time we break, we have a choice: to hide our scars or to fill them with gold. The choice is yours. Will you walk the golden repair path?